What's going on, people? Dr. Myron here, and glad to be with you guys on a winning Wednesday. It's been a while, been away on military assignment for the past 30 days, but glad to be back. And so much has been going on since I've been gone, and there's so much that I want to talk about, so much that I want to address. But I want to address first and foremost the Charlie Kirk situation. My whole platform is about men, um, with a special emphasis on Black and brown men in particular. And so some may wonder why this has any relevance, but it has a whole lot of relevance to the space that I'm in. And I've had a lot of thoughts. I've had a lot of time to pray, a lot of time to meditate, a lot of time to think. And I wanted to make sure that when I address this situation, that I did not address it in anger, that I didn't address it being emotionally um, out of balance. And so I wanna come at this thing head on and just be honest and genuine. I'll be honest with you. I'm not trying to protect my brand as an officer in the military who is not on orders. I plan on speaking very candidly. I want to use the freedom of speech that has been afforded me by the Constitution of the United States. But I also want to use discretion because I realize that this is a very contentious, controversial, polarizing issue. But I ain't scared either. And I'm not trying to avoid this conversation for the sake of money, for the sake of comfort, prestige, and afraid of being misunderstood. That's your job to take what I'm saying and you process it the way you process it. But it's my platform, and I feel that I should address this, especially as a brother. So first, let me be clear, and I want to say with regard to the whole Charlie Kirk situation, just as everybody has said, but I realize that this disclaimer is not just a disclaimer. It's necessary to say this. I don't want anybody to think that I'm rejoicing about seeing someone shot and killed. Violence is never the answer. And I think as a Black man, I feel that very viscerally and very deeply because violence has touched me and my community um, since we were brought to this country. There has been nothing but Black bodies experiencing violence. So I have nothing but empathy for those that experience violence. And so I'm also a believer. The Bible says no matter who it is, that murder is against God's law. You shall not murder is the word of God. And I stand on that. We don't condone it. We don't celebrate it. Um, and it is tragic, honestly, whenever a life is taken. And so, yes, the death of Charlie Kirk is tragic. For something like that to happen in the United States of America, just because someone has a different political view, I don't know all the whys and wherefores of what motivated this person to kill him or why he was killed. I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, it shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have happened in this country. But it happens too often in this country. And that's what I want to address. It happens all the time in this culture, in this country. It happens because of the color of people's skin. It happens because of suspicion. It happens because of political views, different opinions. It's happening on a regular basis. And several individuals have passed in and around the time that Charlie Kirk has passed. So, notwithstanding all of that, my heart grieves for his wife, for his family, for those who loved him. But, however, there is also a painful tension here for me. Because while we mourn one life, we cannot ignore how America often elevates certain people, even when their words worked against justice. Charlie Kirk was not silent. He dismissed white privilege as a racist idea. He once said, if I see a black pilot, I hope he's qualified, as if black competence was always in question. He called George Floyd a scumbag. He promoted the great replacement theory, warning that immigration policies were designed to replace white rule America. He even called the Civil Rights Act a huge mistake and said of Martin Luther King Jr., MLK, and I quote, was awful, not a good person. He said one good thing he actually didn't believe, close quote. And yet, despite those words, his death is now being mourned in stadiums. His legacy is defended. His voice is venerated, and he is being made a Christian martyr. Meanwhile, the names of so many black and brown men, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Philando Castile, Michael Brown, Botham Jean, Freddie Gray, Darren Seals remain etched in grief, their families still crying out, their communities still aching, while much of the nation looks away. As a matter of fact, and in many cases, when a black or brown brother is killed, he is not venerated at all. There is not even compassion for his death. It's just a footnote of just how bad a people we really are. As a matter of fact, our characters are questioned as to why we died. However, here's the problem. When some deaths become national headlines and others are treated like footnotes, it communicates a lie. And I want you to hear me. This is really what I want to get at. So I don't want anybody to misquote me or to misunderstand what I'm saying. Here's the problem with venerating one person over another. It communicates a lie that some lives matter more than others, that celebrity power or skin color determines the value of your life. And that lie is dangerous because it makes too many of us believe we don't matter. And I'll be honest with you, it's hard for a lot of black and brown people to see the outcry and the response to Charlie Kirk's death, and somewhere in their heart not feel inferior in this country, because we have had Christian brothers. We have had people who have been on the front lines fighting for justice and fighting for the least of these, who have been killed and murdered and lynched. And yet their death is scrutinized as insurrectionists. But yet, simultaneously, this same person who was past celebrated January 6th. We got an issue here in this country with making some folks headlines and other folks footnotes. I want you to be clear on me. If you are a black and brown person, I'm talking to you, and your life matters. It may not matter to the system. It may not matter to mass incarceration. It may not matter to the injustices that are happening, but it matters to your family. It matters to your community. It matters to me. It matters to God. You matter to God. You matter to God. And your value is not about your skin color. It's not even about how righteous or unrighteous a life that you live. There's a lot of Christians who are giving bad theology as if to suggest that God cares more about some people than he cares about other people. Let's be clear. Jesus Christ died on the cross for everybody. And there's nobody that is without sin. Nobody. Doesn't matter how you died. Doesn't matter how tragic it was. Nobody here is a saint. Nobody needs to be venerated into sainthood. And the love of God is for everybody. Every single person's life matters. One of the reasons why the Black Lives Matter movement was started, why that moniker, why that movement was connecting with so many of us, is not because we were saying that other lives didn't matter. We were responding to the notion that Black lives don't matter. So it needed to be stated that Black and brown lives actually matter. But with Charlie Kirk's death, with the celebration of his life, with the veneration of who he is, with the martyrdom that we are putting him in, we are literally saying as a country, other lives don't matter. So listen here, brother. I want to say this to you. Number one, I want you, in defiance to the systems and structures and to the racist ideologies in this country that will make you feel inferior, I want you to know that you need to start living. Forget everybody else, but I want you to live like your life has weight. You heard what I said. I said your life has weight, bro. Refuse to self-destruct. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Take care of your spirit. Every act of discipline in your health, your choices, your worship is a declaration that your life matters. Whether they value you or not, I need you to live like your life has weight. Number two, lead like your life has a legacy. Build what outlives you. Pour into your children, your marriage, your brothers, your community. Don't let the world erase your presence. Live in such a way that your impact cannot be ignored. And then number three, fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. Use your strength, your influence, and your voice for the vulnerable, the overlooked, and the silenced. Real manhood doesn't exploit. It protects, it advocates, it sacrifices. And I want to say this. This is one of the reasons why we cannot get caught up in this capitalistic society's greed. Everything we get, I know you're grinding. Everything we get, I know you're trying to get the bag. Everything that we get, I know you're trying to build the business and the empire. But we need to do it for the least of these. Every blessing that God has given us is to help us to defy the social injustice system that produces inferiority complexes in people by the mistreatment of one group over another. Resist it by being generous. Resist it by fighting for others. Resist it by remembering why God put you where you are. You're not there to ingratiate yourself. You were there to serve, and especially to serve those that need the help, that need the care, that need the concern, that need the mercy, that need the compassion, the voices that cannot cry louder than yours, the people that don't have the platform. God has called you to do that. So those are the three. That's all I got for you. Those of you, brown and black brothers, black and brown brothers, that have been reminded about how inferior you are, I just want to tell you today, your life's got weight. I just came here to tell you today that you need to lead like lead like your life has a legacy that needs to be left. And then last but not least, fight, bro. But not just for your family, not just for you and yours, but fight for all of those that don't have the voice, that are the least likely, the leftover, the forgotten about. That's our assignment. So we don't condone violence. We also can't stay silent in a world that treats some lives as more valuable than others. Black men, live like you matter. Lead like you matter. Fight like you matter, because you always have and you always will in the eyes of God. God bless y'all. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. For more information, please visit our website, menswinningscircle.com. That is, menswinningscircle.com. Let's win in the things that matter.